Hello folks. Imagine a place, if you will, whose most famous resident contributed to enormous amounts of American history. Yet, this place is tucked away deep within America's heartland. I'm talking, of course, about Springfield, Illinois, the capital of the Prairie state. Who is this city's most famous resident? Why, it's Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a crucial figure during the Civil War, and quite arguably the person who saved the country as we know it today, the United States. Before he became the president as we all know him to be, Abraham Lincoln lived right here for a good chunk of his life in Springfield, Illinois. And today, we'll be getting the opportunity to visit all over this magnificent city. Now, before we visit the several historical attractions of Springfield, Illinois, I gotta fill up my stomach, and you know the rule here on the Coverage Project. We gotta get something local, something that relates to the place. And I wanna try something local to Illinois. Now that was called a horseshoe sandwich, invented right here in Springfield, Illinois. So it's a local thing. And might I say, that was probably the best meal I've had in a very long time. Really fills you up. It was actually kind of similar to the garbage plate. Remember Rochester, New York? It was similar to that. So you started off with this open face sandwich. It's called a sandwich, but it's a very loose term because there's no top layer of bread. You have that, then you have hamburger meat, then comes all the fries. There's this mountain of fries, and from those clips, I had to dig through and eat all the fries just to even see the hamburger part. And if that's not enough for one's appetite, they pour a boatload of liquid cheese all over the plate. It really fills you up. I didn't even get to finish it. I have a to-go box because I was sadly, unfortunately, not able to eat the whole thing. So I will definitely suggest this. Go to Darcy's Pub here in Springfield and get yourself something that I really appreciated today. The horseshoe sandwich. Anyway, enough of the food talk. Let's see the actual Springfield, Illinois that you all have been waiting for. Let's head out. So once again, we are here at a capital city. This is the capital of Illinois, the Prairie state. And this is our, I believe, 6th capital visited. In the past, on the Coverage Project, we had visited the capital cities of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, and Michigan on this trip. And now we are here in Illinois. All right, here it is. This is the Illinois State Capitol building. Looks kind of old, doesn't it? That's because I told a little white lie. This is not technically the official Capitol building of today. This is a reconstruction of the old State Capitol building from Lincoln's time. As you can tell with the scaffolding and such on top, this building is still under reconstruction. So now that I've teased you a bit with this building right here, which is not the official operating state capitol, let's show you all the modern, current state capitol of Illinois. So we're seeing a lot of these old brick buildings. Could it be that Lincoln saw these with his own eyes during his lifetime? Probably not. So we are approaching the new Illinois State Capitol as we speak, but something catches my attention. There is another one of these historic US Route 66 signs. when we were in Bloomington, we saw that sign just as we're seeing it right now. So I wonder if all across the country, can you find these signs in every single town that Route 66 passes, from Illinois all the way down to California? I'm not sure myself. I'll have to look that up. Get your kicks on Route 66. Oh, and there's the Capitol right there. You know, it would be fun to do some sort of Route 66 tour, a full trip revolving around the main street of the United States. Maybe in the far future, who knows? It seems like throughout the great state of Illinois, Lincoln is a big deal in its entirety, from Bloomington to now here in Springfield. You see a statue of Lincoln right here. Now, Illinois is officially known as the Prairie State. That's why I refer to Illinois as the Prairie State. But on Illinois state license plates, on the cars and automobiles, you will see Illinois, land of Lincoln. And it makes sense. Lincoln is such an important figure in the history of the United States. If the history of America was this one big story or play or musical, Lincoln would probably be one of the main characters, one of the main roles in such a musical or play. I don't know why I'm using that analogy, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Lincoln was a very important figure in how the United States developed. All right, this is the Illinois State Capitol building. Once again, a grand building, very tall, very large, very ornate and decorated. Let's see if we can get into the inside. It may be a little late, but who knows? Let's try it. Oh, of course, that entrance, employees only. Oh, surely, only the most important people can enter that building from that side. We gotta go through the commoner entrance, if there is one. The funny thing about these Capitol building sites, it's that there's this whole nice walk through. It's almost like a royal palace. You've got to be kidding me. Well, it's closed, but that's only Springfield's matter now. They don't get the distinction of having the coverage project explore the inside of their Capitol building. I don't know what to say. I'm a bit sorry for Springfield rather than us. So here's probably what's considered the historic part of town. You see the Route 66 sign. All these brick buildings going back to the era of the 1800s. But at the same time, these buildings are still used today for either governmental purposes or just general shops. Now, as a callback to what I said earlier in the video, I would definitely say what I'm about to show you was seen with Lincoln's eyes. Right now, we are at the Lincoln Home National Historic Site. That's right, we are at the home of Abraham Lincoln. Now, it's not just a home, it is an entire, I don't know what you would call it, couple blocks, couple streets of the area in which Lincoln lived that's been preserved, and of course the houses are much nicer looking. So what I would assume is that they're restored, but overall, this is generally what the area of Lincoln's home looked like. On a personal note, I am so glad that this chunk of land is preserved for the public to witness. A scenery that looks frozen in time, when there is just so much urban sprawl and decay And everything in a large city like Springfield, it's the capital city, it has over 100,000 people. It's one of the larger cities of Illinois. It's nice when things like these exist still, or at least preservation efforts have been made. It makes you really appreciate the history because you're walking through it, or rather, something that's a simulation of it. Now, Abraham Lincoln had many a home. His birthplace in Kentucky, his boyhood home in Indiana, and of course the White House where he spent the years of his presidency. But while he was in Springfield, that house over there was his. His family lived in it from the mid-1840s until he left to go to the White House. As the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until 1865, Lincoln would preside over a country during its most divisive period ever. Because of his ability to manage the country during the Civil War, get the southern states back into the Union after this dreadful bloody war, and of course, emancipating the slaves, Lincoln is regarded as one of the greatest presidents in American history. So here in Springfield, Illinois, the residence of Abraham Lincoln before he ascended to the presidency, any chance the city gets to celebrate Lincoln, oh, they will. That's the clock! Abraham Lincoln was arguably one of the best U.S. presidents in history, though at the time he had his fair share of dissenters. Despite his accomplishments, very shortly after the war had been won by the Union and Lincoln entered into his second term as president, he was fatally shot by a man named John Wilkes Booth. He died very shortly after. And so here he is, buried from then to eternity, right here in Springfield, Illinois, where a very giant tomb stands. I do want to be very respectful while filming here. This is a very, I would say, sacred place. But at the same time, I feel it is the perfect place to end our video off. I really think it's such an honor that we get the opportunity here at the Coverage Project to visit this place. I've said this before with Gettysburg. The U.S. is a secular place. We don't really have holy sites as maybe other countries do or other religions do. But this may serve as sort of an analogous holy place of the United States where one of the greatest presidents lies here. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed our visit here to Springfield, Illinois. It's such a hidden place, hidden in the breadbasket of America, but is a gold mine for history buffs like myself. So I hope you all enjoyed that. We do have more places to cover here in the Midwest, so I'll just leave it at that. So standing in front of Lincoln's tomb here in Springfield, Illinois. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.